Sear torches. Very popular with sous vide owners, and I've been through many different types with all kinds of sizes and power. Although I do have to admit they're very cool, but do you really need a flamethrower capable of battle? In this video, I'll go over my experiences with different types of torches and which ones I think are worth your investment. Let's dive in. Okay, so really searing torches are most popular with sous vide cookers. Even the Burnzomatic TS8000 has been a pretty popular torch for sous vide users, although it's primarily used for industrial and tools, right? Like it's more of a tool than for cooking, but it's been adapted for sous vide users. I think in general there's a big attraction to torches. I mean, they're cool, they shoot a huge flame out, they sound cool, and they're just fun to use. So in this video, I kind of wanted to go over what's practical, what do you actually need, especially for you that are new to sous vide cooking or just want to use it primarily for, actual cooking in the kitchen and not for tool making. There's a lot of stuff out there that's, they're pretty good. I mean, I don't want to, say that they're not. They're good products, but they're marketed very well and they make you feel like you absolutely need them. I don't want to mislead you guys. Using a torch or using torches to sear my proteins is actually my least favorite method. I prefer to finish my food and sear them off either on the grill or in the pan. I feel like it just gives a much better taste profile. There's a lot more complexity to the food. Now, with that being said, using a torch is really fun and they're very convenient. You can sear your proteins in a matter of like 30 seconds or up to a minute with these bigger sear torches. So I get it. I understand the attraction, but I just want to let you guys know that it's probably my least favorite method for actually searing something and getting that rich taste or that complexity. So I'm sure you guys already know this, but all these torches have something similar. They all accept butane as the fuel, but the butane bottles are very different. The little ones, the little butane torches that you buy that have their own cylinder that you refill, will accept a different bottle than, let's say, this one right here. This one actually clips onto a butane bottle, and that's a specific one. And then these guys here, the big torches, take the bigger bottles, the 1 pound propane bottles or whatever, and they can actually even adapt to the larger propane tanks. So they're all very different. So you got to kind of know what you're getting into and what you want. Okay, let's talk about the most basic butane torch that you can get. These ones are the ones that have their own cylinder that you would refill with a butane bottle, the ones that you would commonly find with like a Zippo lighter. The bottle has its own fill neck. The gases would go into the butane cylinder, and then that, the gases would fill there. You usually have a window that tells you how much gas you have left. But I consider them mostly dessert torches. They can sear. They're just going to take a long time to sear. And they're really more for like creme brulee or things like that. I have seen them in restaurants. They're actually very common in small restaurants because, they're specifically used for desserts. But as far as like getting it as your first sear torch, if you're doing sous vide or you're trying to sear proteins, I would skip out on them. Nothing wrong with them. They're great for desserts, but there's better things out there. And for the money, the next one up that I'm going to recommend is probably perfect. Okay, the next level up is actually this guy here. And this one's still going to accept butane. However, the canister that you need to buy needs to have a snap joint. So the way that this thing works is you would place it on the canister, rotate it, push it down and rotate it, and it would snap and lock into place. Now you're getting into torches that have a bottle that follows the torch, wherever it's going. I really like this model. I think for most beginners, skip out on the dessert flame torch and go straight to this guy. This one has enough power to sear your proteins. It's still going to take some time compared to the Sear Pro or, whatever, the sous vide gun or whatever that's out there that's a lot stronger. But typically I think for most people out there, beginners, this is a great item to have. I would see this guy all the time in kitchens. And to be quite honest with you guys, I never really saw like a Sear Pro in a kitchen. I think in a kitchen environment, having something like the Sear Pro or the grill gun or the sous vide gun or whatever, the big torches that spit out a huge flame is kind of a liability. I have seen a couple kitchens that carry the TS8000. I think this one has been adapted for those needs, but quite honest, there's a lot of kitchens that will carry this guy here. Now, it might not be this manufacturer. I think they have a commercial manufacturer that they use, and there's really two reasons for it. It's a great torch. It's great for desserts. It can sear. if that restaurant's doing sous vide. But it also has this adjustable nozzle here, and you can change the flame. You can go from a torch, a butane high output flame, to more of like a low output, constant steady flame if you're primarily focusing on, I don't know, desserts or something light. So you can go extreme, you can go light, and you can turn up the output as much as you want. Also, the canister that you have, it's not really a huge liability to carry a big, propane tank or propane bottle, 1 pound propane bottle. And you don't have this crazy output because, when you're in a kitchen, there's a lot of people next to you. You don't want to swipe someone. You can get somebody really hurt. I also remember in kitchens, anytime they used a propane torch or a flamethrower, they always called it out to let everybody know around them that, they were using a torch just as a heads up, right, for safety purposes. So in a restaurant versus at home, it's completely two different things. But I wanted to talk about this guy. This one's by Fun Outlet. I mean, it's obviously an off-brand, but it worked well for me. And I'll have everything in the link below if you guys are interested in buying any one of these things. But I love this so much. I mean, if you look at it, it's abused. I've beat this thing up for the last 3 years. I left it out. There's grease all over it. And it finally quit on me. It wouldn't seal anymore. And the propane gases or the butane gases was leaking out. So I had to buy a brand new one. I think this is a great addition to have in the kitchen. And quite honest, I probably use this guy 85% of the time indoors or just, for convenience. So when it stopped working, when it stopped searing, I kind of was really bummed out. So I had to pick up another one, and they're very cheap. I think I got this guy for $8 or $12 off of Amazon, and I think the regular price is like 15. So it's just so cost effective, and I can't say enough good things about this. Even if you're gonna get something a little bit better, I really think you should still buy this guy. It's only $12, and you can have this inside of the kitchen for quick things. And when you're outdoors or you really want to sear a steak real quick, the Sear Pro is perfect for that, or lighting your charcoal grill and so forth. Okay, and then there was a period of time when I really got into sous vide and I was using it a lot more than usual. And honestly, when you're doing a lot of proteins and you want to sear something very quick, or you have a lot of steaks to sear, like for a party, I was using sous vide for parties. This guy just doesn't cut it. It can't keep up. So I wanted to get something a little bit more advanced. Now at that time, there wasn't a Sear Pro or a grill gun or sous vide gun or anything like that yet. So the next step for me was to get this guy here. And like I said, this is the Bernzomatic TS8000. It's legendary. It's really made for tools and more for industrial things. It's not necessarily for cooking or kitchens, but it was so popular, and it's really a very good propane torch that a lot of people adapted it for sous vide and for, the kitchen. And it does a good job. The flame's a lot smaller. I mean, you're not going to get this huge flame like with the Sear Pro, but it does a good job of searing things quickly, and you got to keep moving. That's the big thing with this guy, is you got to keep moving or you're going to burn, certain spots of your protein. This guy is extremely reliable. I think I've had it for 3 years. I bought it kind of maybe 6 months after I got this guy or so. So they're relatively at the same time. I mean, this guy's also being abused. I don't just use it for cooking. I use it for all kinds of things, and it's still working. So this is high quality, good stuff. No leaks, no problems. I think this is probably logically the next step up. However, if you really do just want it for cooking, you should definitely get this one. Like I said, it's cheap and it's great to have, lying around the kitchen. But if you want to go to the next step, skip this guy all around, because I think this guy's like 40 to 60 bucks. Save your money and go to the next item, which I'm going to talk about right now. Okay, the Sear Pro. Now, there's 2 items on the market right now that are competing with one another. It's the Sear Pro and the grill gun. They're both very comparable. They're both really, really good products, but they're really different. So why did I buy the Sear Pro over the grill gun? Well, I'm going to tell you guys up front, it was because the Sear Pro was half off. Amazon had this guy for 70 bucks out the door, and the grill gun was like 140, 150, something like that, and I just did not want to spend that much money on a propane torch. The Sear Pro does everything that the grill gun can do, minus a couple of safety features, and I'll talk about that in just a second. The output out of this thing is ridiculous. I mean, you can light your charcoal, you can light a campfire, you can sear a steak in under a minute, and it does a great job of searing and charring vegetables, protein, steaks, chicken, you name it, it can do it. It seems like a lot of people have a hard time lighting it when you're, first initially lighting it. The trick is you can't have the gas on full blast. It will not light. That's actually a safety feature. You have to have the gas on very, very low. Just barely crack it open, and then it will light. You'll see just like a basic flame. As you turn it up, you turn up the output, you'll see more of a flamethrower, flame. And that is basically how you light it. I think the grill gun has the same exact feature. It will only light on low, but the grill gun has like a booster, button or a little grip that shoots it into overdrive. I really like that feature on the grill gun. But again, I was kind of up in the air between the Sear Pro and the grill gun. The Sear Pro was half off, so this made sense to me. So how often do I use this guy? Well, if I'm being honest, probably 20% of the time. I use this little guy like 80% of the time. I try to only use the Sear Pro outdoors. I mean, the flame is pretty big, and indoors it's just, just for safety purposes. I mean, it can be done, and I have used it indoors before. Actually, I've used it indoors quite a bit, but my advice to you guys at home is just be very careful with this. This is a tool, and you got to treat it like a tool. If I have old charcoal inside the grill that, I don't want to waste a cube on or something like that, and I'm just doing a quick meal, I'll grab this guy and it will light it really, really quick, and the charcoal is ready to go and I can cook very quickly. It does take the 1 pound propane bottles. You can buy an adapter hose that will adapt to the larger propane tanks for your gas grill. It's completely up to you what you want to use it for. Now let's talk about safety. This actually does not have a check valve, and the instructions that come with this gun are very clear. You can only use this in a specific way. Otherwise, it can be very dangerous. Never turn this thing upside down. Never have it straight up and down like this. You always want to use it at a 45-degree angle. You want to make sure that you're not tilting it too much, because the propane liquid will actually start to come out, and you'll see like these little flames being shot out and kind of like this little splatter looking thing, and that's bad. You can actually light the propane liquid, and theoretically your tank can blow up, or you can have back pressure, so you don't want to do that. Now, the grill gun made by Grill Blazer, I forgot what the company was, they have a check valve. So if you do rotate it or tilt it at an angle that would cause that liquid propane to start coming out, it will shut off. And then you have to turn everything off, do the initial light again to get it to restart. Sear Pro says that they did not include a check valve for convenience, for user convenience, because it would limit the applications of the gun. I get that, so that's just something that the company wanted to go with. But as a father, I have a family, I like safety features. That's something that I like. And from my personal experience as a designer in manufacturing, you always want to design with safety built in, safety in mind, because it just takes 1 or 2 bad apples to ruin it for everybody. Although you trust your customers and your intentions are for professional use or for serious users, there's always those 1 or 2 guys that will abuse your product and then cause an accident. And anytime you can prevent that with a safety feature designed into your product, that's just a win. So honestly, the Sear gun appeals to me a little bit more, and I actually like the way it looks, and I like that little booster thing, but it's just way too expensive. Another thing about the Sear Pro is it's pretty short. So if you are trying to light a campfire or something, I wish it was a little bit longer, or maybe they could have included an extension or something like that. But again, it's half off, so it's a good product. It does exactly what the grill gun does. I also like that the owner is a first responder. It's made in the USA. I think the grill gun's also made in the USA. But if you're asking me personally, would I buy the Sear Pro versus the grill gun? Well, the answer is I bought the Sear Pro, and it really came down to whichever one was on sale. But if safety is a big issue for you, then maybe the grill gun's a better choice for you. So that's it, guys. I really think that if you are a sous vide person or you're looking for a torch, these are the 2 that you should buy. You're probably going to use this guy 80% of the time, and the Sear Pro or the grill gun, whatever you decide to go with, the other 20% of the time. They're both great products. This thing is fantastic. It's really cool, shoots a really large flame, it's fun to use, but it's a tool, so be very, very careful with it. And then this guy's very practical. It's also at a great price. If you start off with this guy, you're on the right track, and then maybe you want to upgrade to the Sear Pro, or maybe you already have this guy in your garage, and you might find that the TS8000 does the job for you. I don't know. But if you don't already own this guy and you're not really a handyman, or you don't really have an interest in tools, then I would skip this guy and just go to the Sear Pro or the grill gun. but you should do just fine with this. Now, I am planning on doing a video on sous vide and searing. Like I said, torches in general are not my favorite method of searing proteins. Sous vide's an interesting thing for me. I don't absolutely love it. I don't absolutely hate it. I think it's a great convenient item. And then it also takes all the fun out of cooking for me. So I'll make a video on that. But for convenience, yes, a torch is great and really fun to use. And that's basically our video for today. Catch you guys on the next one.